plants may appear to be harmless, but they can contain some of the most lethal poisons known. Poisonous plants have been responsible for human deaths throughout history, from Socrates' death from poison hemlock to toddlers accidentally ingesting deadly nightshade. With this macabre list, you may learn about some of the most infamous plants and their toxins. For most individuals, a cactus or a stinging nettle is the closest they'll ever get to a harmful plant. Both can be excruciatingly uncomfortable, but neither is particularly lethal. Furthermore, most individuals are aware that they should avoid eating wild mushrooms if they are unsure of what they are. So we've compiled a list of some of the world's deadliest plants, to help you to take a little more care when you're next on your travels. We suspect they would need more than your standard weed killer to get rid of. Number 10. Water hemlock, Cicuta maculata. Water hemlock, which is closely related to poison hemlock, the plant that famously killed Socrates, has been dubbed North America's most brutally deadly plant. Water hemlock is a big wildflower in the carrot family that looks like Queen Anne's lace and is occasionally mistaken for edible parsnips or celery. Water hemlock, on the other hand, is laced with lethal cicutoxin, particularly in the roots, and anyone unlucky enough to ingest it would quickly develop possibly fatal symptoms. Convulsions, abdominal cramps, nausea, and death are common, and those who survive are generally left with amnesia or tremors for the rest of their lives. Conium, common hemlock, contains the toxin conium, which can be lethal in even small amounts. This toxic herb, which was used as an efficient means of execution in ancient Greece, acts by paralyzing the muscles and then the respiratory system until the victim is unable to breathe. Water hemlock, Cicuta, a member of the same family, carries a poison called cicutoxin. This unappealing plant functions by targeting the nervous system, resulting in excruciating agony, vomiting, kidney failure, and death. The poisons in hemlock are largely concentrated in the roots and stem in both cases. Number 9. White snakeroot. Because it was frequently taken by accident, this plant, or at least its effects, became known as milk sickness in the 19th century. White snakeroot's Latin name is Agaritina altissima, and it's so potent that even eating the meat of an animal that has died from its effects could result in death. Nancy Hanks, Abraham Lincoln's mother, died from white snakeroot poisoning. White snakeroot is a North American herb that produces flat-topped clusters of little white flowers and contains tramadol, poisonous alcohol. Nancy Hanks was poisoned by merely sipping the milk of a cow that had grazed on the plant, unlike individuals who have perished from directly consuming dangerous weeds. Indeed, the toxin can be passed to humans through poisoned cattle meat and milk. Loss of appetite, nausea, weakness, abdominal discomfort, reddish tongue, abnormal blood acidity, and mortality are all symptoms of milk poisoning. Fortunately, farmers are increasingly aware of this potentially fatal hazard and are working to remove the plant from animal pastures. Number 8. Castor Bean. The castor bean is a lovely African plant that is widely planted as an ornamental. While the processed seeds provide castor oil, they also contain the poison ricin, which is lethal in small doses. A youngster can be killed with just 1 or 2 seeds, whereas an adult can be killed with up to 8. Ricin causes severe vomiting, diarrhea, convulsions, and possibly death by blocking the synthesis of proteins within cells. The poison was used to assassinate Georgy Markov, a Bulgarian journalist who spoke out against the government, in 1978, and has been mailed to various U.S. politicians in unsuccessful terrorism attempts since then. Number 7. Deadly nightshade. The sweet taste of the glossy blackberries on the deadly nightshade plant, Atropa belladonna, lulls the consumer into a false sense of security. The leaf is also extremely dangerous, causing the consumer to pass out. Deadly nightshade paralyzes muscles in the same way that hemlock does. It was also once used to dilate the pupils in women's eye drops. Macbeth's troops poisoned the invading Danes with wine produced from the sweet fruit of the deadly nightshade, according to folklore. The sweetness of the berries is what often tempts children and unknowing adults to eat this poisonous shrub. Deadly nightshade is a plant that grows in woodland or waste regions in central and southern Eurasia. It has dull green leaves and lustrous blackberries the size of cherries. In its stems, leaves, berries, and roots, nightshade includes atropine and scopolamine, which paralyzes the body's involuntary muscles, including the heart. Even physical touch with the leaves might irritate the skin. Number 6. Rosary Pea. These piously named seeds, sometimes known as jaguarity beans, contain abrine, a highly lethal ribosome-inhibiting protein. Rosary peas are tropical peas that are frequently used in jewelry and rosaries. While the seeds are not poisonous when whole, they can be fatal if scratched, cracked, or chewed. It is reported that many jewelry makers have become ill or died after inadvertently pricking their fingers while working with the seeds, as it only takes 3 micrograms of abrine to kill an adult, which is less than the quantity of poison in one seed. Abrine, like ricin, hinders protein synthesis in cells and can lead to organ failure in as little as 4 days. Number 5. Oleander. Oleander is a lovely shrub with brilliant blossoms that was first described by Pliny the Elder in ancient Rome. Despite its popularity as a hedge and ornamental plant, the oleander plant contains lethal cardiac glycosides known as oleandrin and nerine in all sections of the plant. Oleander can cause vomiting, diarrhea, abnormal pulses, seizures, coma, and death if consumed, and contact with the leaves and sap is known to irritate some people's skin. The poisons in oleander are so potent that individuals have become sick after eating honey generated by bees that visited the blooms. Fortunately, fatalities from oleander poisoning are rare, as the plant is very bitter and thus quickly deters anyone sampling the vegetation. Number 4. Little Apple of Death. This plant, also known as Hippomane manchinelli or manchineel, is a low-key plant. It appears to be rather innocent, resembling an apple. However, if you come into contact with the sap, you may experience a severe allergic skin reaction, with painful blistering. The irritant in question is forbol, which is contained in the sap of the plant. Little Apples of Death, on the other hand, contains a number of additional toxins that, if taken, would almost surely cause death. Number 3. Tobacco. Tobacco is the most widely grown commercial non-food plant in the world. All parts of the plant, especially its leaves, contain the toxic alkaloids nicotine and anabasine and can be fatal if eaten. Despite its designation as a cardiac poison, nicotine from tobacco is widely consumed around the world and is both psychoactive and addictive. Tobacco use causes more than 5 million deaths per year, making it perhaps the most deadly plant in the world. Number 2. Venus flytrap. We've talked a lot about how to avoid some of the world's deadliest plants, but what about animals and insects? The Venus flytrap, Dianimusipila, is one of the most well-known, or infamous, poisonous plants on the planet. With its mouth-like look and tooth-like spikes, or hairs, it's easily recognizable. This carnivore is incredibly intelligent. The plant sensor is triggered when one of the hairs on the flytrap's surface is contacted by a crawling fly or spider. The plant's head snaps shut if another hair is touched within 20 seconds of the first, trapping the creature and devouring its victim. Number 1. Nepenthes. Nepenthes is a genus of carnivorous plants in the monotypic family Nepenthaceae, popularly known as tropical pitcher plants or monkey cups. There are over 170 species in the genus, as well as numerous natural and produced hybrids. Nepenthes creepers have been known to grow up to 15 meters tall, earning them the nickname monkey cups since bold creatures have been seen drinking from their huge leaves. Inside its cup, the plant produces a sweet, syrupy liquid that is utilized to smother and digest its food. It goes without saying that you should avoid getting too close. Thanks for watching this video.